Good afternoon. I'm sat with Lewis Raymond Taylor, the owner of Hunger Start, and you'll hear all about this super company in a moment, so I won't say any more for the moment. But good afternoon, Lewis.
Good afternoon, Stef. Thanks very much for having me.
My pleasure. Lewis, before we discuss your company and its value, can you tell me a bit about your own background and how you got started in this business, which is, around the coaching, speaking, training piece?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be difficult to sort of condense it into the time frame we got, but I'll give you a bit of a brief background on sort of how this has all come about. So I've had a past of substance misuse, crime, mental illness, all sorts of stuff, and it was only until my sort of early 20s where I was exposed to this whole personal development industry. I was exposed to therapy, counselling, psychotherapy, and then a 12-step recovery rehabilitation. I went to fully intensive 6 months rehabilitation, and my eyes are really open to the extent of the help and the support that was available out there. Before, whether or not I was dismissive of it or if it was ever really sort of given to me in the first place, I'm unsure, but I wasn't aware of the sort of help that was available. And when I started to see the value in this stuff, the therapy, even the things like the small workshops that I had access to in prison. I did a 6-week RAPT, which is Rehabilitation of Addicted Prisoners Trust program, and that was short, sharp workshops, 1-hour pieces on all sorts of personal development, and it really just made me think, wow, there's a lot that can be done here. And as I said, once I started to see the value in it, I wanted more. I wanted to see what the next step was, and I was constantly growing, developing, and evolving myself, and learning more and having a deeper awareness around sort of person I was and why I felt the way I did. Now, what I found was everything was very disjointed. There was meetings, there was therapy, there was all sorts of stuff. And when I look at it from sort of an outside point of view, it tends to be tailored more. The motivational stuff tends to be tailored more towards sort of affluent, high-end type clientele. Now, these are the Tony Robbins motivational speaks, it's £5,000 a ticket. That's completely unobtainable for a lot of people, and it's also completely unrealistic for a lot of people. When I was in treatment, people would come in and do guest shares, and these would be just normal people, everyday people that have sort of turned their life around. They'd started businesses, they got clean and sober, and they share their experience, strength and hope with everybody. And once I saw that, I knew there was an opportunity to sort of bring everything together. And I knew that, hang on a minute, why is this only available for people with drugs and alcohol misuse? This can be available for everybody, which is why Hunger Start came about. So Hunger Start is, we built a global community online. We've got a free membership group, private Facebook group, and that has over 4,000 members from all over the world. And that's also transitioning now into more workshops and speaks in schools, as well as obviously the coaching and mentoring. So I know that was a bit of a long-winded answer, but it's quite a lot to sort of get in, but I'll tell you a bit more about some of the other strands of it, but that's pretty much how it all came about.
It's an amazing story, and you've alluded there to Hunger Start, your company. Mm-hmm. As my question really that I was going to pose to you, which is still relevant.
Yeah.
Hunger Start, of course, is not what maybe people at first hearing might think it is. So why the name, and what are the company's objectives?
Okay, so I sort of did allude to the fact in the first question there. Hunger Start is nothing to do with hunger in terms of food. It's to do with motivation. So it's that hunger for success, that intense desire to succeed, and it's about starting your hunger, because what I was saying earlier is I want to target people that haven't been exposed to this before. There are already people that are catering for these motivated, successful entrepreneurs and things like that. I want to target people that have never even considered personal development before, that have never even thought that they can become motivated. They never even They don't even know that the industry is out there. They don't even know what value it holds for them and how many options and choice it can provide for their life. So it's about starting your hunger for success in all areas of your life. It doesn't have to be business. It can be getting in the gym. It can be improving your confidence. It can be going back into education. Whatever it is you want to do to develop yourself or improve an area of your life, we will start your hunger for that.
Perfect. And coaching, therefore, is at the heart of that.
Yeah.
So in your view, in your eyes, in your experience so far, what makes a good coach? And can you tell us maybe about some of the successes you've had to date?
Yeah. Well, it's hard to say what makes a good coach. It's very, very dependent on the individual. Different people relate to different types of people. what I've found, the number one thing that I've had success with is the fact that people are very, very, very comfortable with opening up to me. And this is what I've found, not just in terms of my sort of professional coaching, but just in general life nowadays. When people know that you've been to certain depths, they know that you won't judge them, they know that you understand where they're coming from. You know, they feel a lot more comfortable with actually bringing things up they maybe have never discussed before. So in terms of what makes a good coach, I mean, there's different varieties. Some have a wealth of academic knowledge, and that's, you know, can be very, very important. However, some have the ability to take people on a shared journey through the experiential type knowledge that they've picked up along the way, like myself. And sometimes some people may argue that's invaluable. However, like I said, it depends very much on the person and their style. And in terms of successes that I've had with people, I mean, I'm actually the most surprised by it. You know, it's I coach all types of different people. I started off doing the volunteering, and that was not through the business, but that was people with homeless and substance misuse. But since then, my clientele has grown to, you know, students, you know, millionaire entrepreneurs, believe it or not. I really can't get my head around that. And I coach them in a variety of things, whether it's majority of its mindset. So it's allowing people to remove the barriers that are holding them back. You know, I've had, you know, the whole experience of finding out what stopped me from doing the things I wanted to do. So I've got that knowledge of my own personal experience, but I was also in treatment for 6 months. And it was a progressive process where I was in there for 2 weeks, and then a newbie would walk through the door. And I would see all their breakthroughs, I would see all the denial, I'd see everything that held them back, and I'd see all, you know, all the confidence they would get in themselves, and I just absorbed that all. So I was really, that's why I focus specifically on mindset now, because I've got a real good grasp of the depths of holding people back. But some of the successes I've had is within business, the business people that I coach. Some of them have managed to double their monthly income. You know, some of them have managed to go to full-time with their businesses. And one guy, the millionaire entrepreneur that I've the coach, funny enough, actually took a step back and got rid of his business. And now he's moving more into passive income and property developing and things like that. So he's freeing up his time, spending more time with his family. But ultimately, it all comes down to sort of having that peace of mind, you know, changing ways of thinking. And it very much depends on what objectives they have. But I'll do my absolute best to work towards their objectives to get them the results. So, you know, it's completely variable.
Brilliant. Very hard question. Who represents, therefore, your typical customer? If, as I say, if such a beast exists, and more importantly, because you've given us maybe a little reveal there about you've got quite a wide customer range. But if you can talk about what constitutes a typical customer, the other point is what differentiates you from, you know, your industry colleagues and, you know, competitors, because it's actually quite a tough industry you're in.
Yeah, well, I've gone through this battle. I've even got as far as hiring a marketing coach, you know, and we've gone through this process, and I'm really battling against it because I've always been a bit of a maverick, obviously, and that sort of carried me on in my sort of entrepreneurial life as well, and I'm finding it quite difficult to stick to a certain sales strategy in order to target customers, you know. I want to help change the world, you know, that's what I want to do, and I find it very difficult to say I'm only helping that kind of person. So what I've done is I've compromised and I've niched down exactly what sort of service offering I provide. So rather than niching down to a specific type of audience, type of customer, I'm saying, look, I do specifically mindset coaching, which is a subcategory of life coaching, which is a subcategory of coaching, and I specifically help people to break the mold. So that's my Hunger Start is the business, it's the workshops, it's the speaks, it's also everybody else that I have working with me as well, so contractors and stuff, it's the whole company, it's the community, it's everybody helping each other. But my personal one-to-one coaching program and my own brand, Lewis Raymond Taylor, is breaking the mold. So I specifically help people to, you know, adopt new ways of thinking and push themselves in a new direction when they possibly feel stuck. So I know that was a bit of a long-winded question, but to answer your question, I don't have a specific customer, but what I do is very, very specific.
And your passion comes through like a beacon. So as we get towards the end of the interview, what's the vision? Take me forward a couple of years, Lewis Raymond Taylor. Yeah. Where will Lewis Raymond Taylor be in 2 or 3 years' time?
Well, I've got to be careful now because I don't want to come across arrogant, but I'm feeling really confident these days. You know, I went through so much time in this bad, you know, in prison and all sorts of things, and I've had a difficult upbringing where, you know, my dad used to say things like to me, "You never amount to anything. You're a buffoon. You're stupid." And I believed that for so long, And now that I've overcome those hurdles and I'm able to see the progress in my life, and I've gone from prison to rehab to college to university to entrepreneurial to traveling to helping people, I just sort of don't know what's going to stop me now. And I sort of used to use the expression everything was spiraling out of control, and it's sort of reversed now. Like, as long as I keep on doing the right thing, moving in the right direction, helping people, I do the volunteering still, I'm doing the right thing, as long as I keep on developing myself, staying motivated, staying hungry, I don't know what's going to stop me. I'm just going to be moving from one thing to the next. So the vision for Hunger Start is a global community. I want to help everybody. I want to bring everybody together, motivate, support, and inspire them to develop themselves, improve an area of their life. And me as myself, maybe I'll be a coach to the stars, who knows? But I'd like to be a speaker in some big audiences. I've been doing that recently on smaller platforms, but I'm hoping that will grow, and who knows what will come with that. I never expected to do the talks and the workshops. That's a progressive thing in such a short space of time. So who knows what next is there for me. And you know what? Right now, I'm optimistic for the future, but I'm just taking it a day at a time, helping one person at a time, and what will be, will be.
And Lewis Raymond Taylor, you deserve that success, and Shaping will do everything it can to help you. And I look forward to coming back and talking to you in, say, 6 months' time, and just seeing where you are on that journey. But for now, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for having me.